Investigative journalist Li Fang wrote yesterday, Epstein sent many rambling emails suggesting projects with Bill Gates. Asked to prep presentations for new Gates-backed foundation, $100 million minimum investment expanding on exchanging prior Gates-related interests like vaccines and maternal care. In one of those emails from February 25th, 2011, Epstein reportedly wrote, Gates guy here today, no reporters, I took care of that. Stay calm and focused. We need to speak. I am staying until very late tonight. Seeing Gates read donor on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday set aside for 2-3 hours to discuss exactly this.
This comes as more information on Epstein's dealings are coming to light amid JPMorgan's fresh accusations over ties to the accused sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, so these are, filings from this JPMorgan Virgin Islands lawsuit. So just more and more emails from JPMorgan officials, Epstein talking about it, just all the influential, important people with lots of money that Epstein was connecting to government officials at the island, to the bank as well. And his ongoing kind of relationship with Gates, which is, these messages to Gates people are 2011. So that's after he's already a known sex offender. He's been convicted. He got his house arrest or whatever kind of deal he got for sexual misconduct with underage girls. So you can't say, oh, I didn't know. It was known. It was known by then. There's some joking about Miley Cyrus, who at the time of this is 15. She's a Disney star at the time. So that's a clear inclination of an awareness of exactly the kind of thing Epstein goes for. It's disgusting.
Yeah. I think
very disgusting.
It's a bit of a lens into what the world is like for bankers in America at the very high level. The emails that Li Fang posted to Twitter, you have one from a Mary Erdoes at JPMorgan.com official email to an unknown person saying, obviously they're at a party. This is, really late at night. The first email is about 8:30. This has turned into a cheesy broker fest. Totally not cool. The only cool people here are at Glenn's table. Same as bat mitzvah. So maybe they've known each other for some time. The response is at 1:20 a.m. Epstein there with Miley Cyrus. And so this is like official JPMorgan emails where this exchange is happening. Was Epstein actually there with Miley Cyrus? We don't know. But the fact that they made the joke shows that these bankers on their JPMorgan emails are comfortable joking about the billionaire being out with young girls.
They were comfortable joking about a lot of really sketchy stuff. We've read these emails in the past talking about who's your favorite Disney princess. It suggests a deep familiarity with the kind of bad and illegal stuff that Jeffrey Epstein was interested in and had already been convicted for, would eventually be arrested for again. Yet right up until the very end, I've talked about this several times, but I think it's always worth bringing up, including given her recent crusade, the higher media profile she has sought for herself as part of the pushback from Democrats on Twitter files and on RFK Jr. Stacey Plaskett, the delegate of the Virgin Islands, has been front and center at these hearings, accusing Matt Taibbi of perjury, accusing RFK Jr. of anti-Semitism. Stacey Plaskett, delegate of the Virgin Islands, trying to get Jeffrey Epstein at her fundraisers as recently as 2018, I believe, the year before he was arrested again and then died in allegedly because of suicide in prison. This was someone with full knowledge and awareness of his wrongdoing, was courting his influence, his access to funds and to important wealthy people.
Right. Plaskett, who originally said that she wasn't really aware that he was donating. She was completely unaware of his donations to her campaign, which, then she had to say in deposition last month.
It's just a lie.
Yeah, she was directly introduced.
Yeah, you can see the emails from her team saying, oh, he's going to be there, right? Let's make sure he gets a personal invite.
Not just for the political dealings, but was an attorney at the tax firm that worked with Jeffrey Epstein. So even before she ran for public office, she knew Jeffrey Epstein. But then there's obvious documents where she's asking that he be invited to the events. She was clearly aware most likely directly had been speaking with Jeffrey Epstein.
And Jeffrey Epstein, had his own agenda for the Virgin Islands. He wanted the sex offender policies of the Virgin Islands changed. Wonder why that could be. He was paying for some government officials, I think, schooling for their kids. This is this is something I've, again, mentioned when we talk about this lawsuit, but because the lawsuit is from Virgin Islands to JPMorgan, but it seems pretty clear that a lot of the government officials of the Virgin Islands were very much complicit in the exact kind of nefarious, we'll find out if it's illegal, who knows, but very icky behavior that they're going after JPMorgan for their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein, that they are complicit as well. So whatever they recoup from JPMorgan as a result of this lawsuit, if this is just going to build like a nicer governor's mansion or something or whatever it is in the Virgin Islands, that'll be pretty ridiculous because they're all over this too. So it is the victims of Jeffrey Epstein who need to be made whole again. Not powerful people who were well aware of this pattern of abuse for 15 years.
Or maybe, do the job of passing some anti-corruption legislation. Not only was Epstein donating to Plaskett's campaign, there was an email where an aide wrote to Epstein to confirm that a $13,000 corporate donation planned for the Democratic Party, not the Plaskett campaign, would be made, quote, for the benefit of Stacey Plaskett. So this exceeds the amount that you can donate in an election cycle to an individual candidate. And this shows the kind of shady dealing that goes on between very rich donors like Jeffrey Epstein and PACs or political campaigns, right? You're circumventing FEC regulations by saying, I'm giving this money to the Democratic Party because I can give an unlimited amount, but I'm letting you know that this needs to go to the benefit of Stacey Plaskett, which is not a decision the donor can make. That's a decision that the party needs to make of what to do with that money. And so that's a pretty damning facet of this whole expose as well of what's going on in the Virgin Islands. And, she's a delegate to Congress and she's risen to a pretty prominent position as well.
Yeah, she's been all over, as I said, the Twitter Files hearing. She grilled Taibbi and Schellenberger. She accused Taibbi of making up, of getting things wrong, and it way overplayed her hand there. And then at this RFK Jr. hearing last week, she was one of the people, saying things that I don't think. That I think are exaggerations and mischaracterizations of what RFK Jr. said. She's positioning herself as very much part of the Democratic, establishment, pushing back on people who are questioning government abuse related to social media and speech and all sorts of other things. But she has, some things to be looked at for.
Yeah, podcaster Joe Rogan actually suggested that Bill Clinton was blackmailed by Jeffrey Epstein, who hung up a painting of Clinton in his home. Let's watch this.
Why do you think Epstein had that giant painting of Bill Clinton in a dress in his foyer?
Dude.
Do you know that picture?
Yeah.
That painting? Epstein's
taste in art was not great. Like, if you look at the
shit... No, that was great. That painting is like, I got you, bitch. That's what that is.
Oh, right.
You got...
I'm going to see if I can put the painting up on screen. What do you think about the blackmailing of Bill Clinton?
So I love the way the response goes by his guest there on the podcast of Joe Rogan, because it wasn't like, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton were obviously very close for him to have this painting commissioned. It was, his taste in art's pretty bad. I wouldn't want Bill Clinton in a dress on the wall. It's a hilarious response.
Well, it's not. So let's put it. So there it is.
Yeah.
So it's not actually. I don't think. So Bill Clinton. Forgive me if I'm wrong.
He didn't pose
for this. Somebody else posed for it and it was painted, and then they just painted it to look like Bill Clinton's face. So the idea that I don't think this is evidence of that he's being black. Like he was public knowledge. This painting. Well, I guess it later became public knowledge, but it's not. He wasn't trying to. Bill Clinton wasn't like trying to prevent this painting from getting out or something. Like he didn't pose for it. It was just like anyone could do this. Mm-hmm. So as evidence of blackmail, I don't know that it really amounts to anything.
No,
personally.
But hilarious.
Hilarious nonetheless.
Hilarious. It's giving, it doesn't sound right because the client is Jeffrey Epstein, but paint me like one of your French girls.
Yeah.
But that has a whole different connotation given the Epstein situation. I think the documents that are coming out thanks to them looking into this JPMorgan case, are fascinating because we also have documents coming out alleging that Jeffrey Epstein helped connect JPMorgan to high-profile clients, like the Google co-founder Sergey Brin. I think there's just going to be more and more stuff coming out because a lot of these documents are going to be, disclosed to the public thanks to this case.
Yeah. Well, we'll continue to follow that, and we'll have more rising right after this.